I'm Tom Lord-Alge, and we're here in Spank Studios in Florida, and I'm here with IK Multimedia. Today we're going to talk about the T-RackS mixing and mastering plugins. On bass guitar, I mean, again, a great starting point, you know, would be the model of the Neve 1073. It's a great sounding EQ, nice and warm sounding, you know, and again, that into the model of the 1176, man, there's your starting point. You know, the 1073 model is great because it's got all the right frequencies for the bass. So again, a little bit of mid-range, you know, touch of the 10K top end, and then again, just dial in, you know, the bottom that you would need for that particular song, whatever the frequency would be. But the 1073s are perfect for that. And then again, the 1176, you know, you're really not going to get any better than that. It's a great starting point. And again, you adjust the taste, you know, whether you want it to be attacky or whether you want it to be smooth. 1176, I'm always going to use 4-to-1. I've never found, for me, I've never really liked the sound of any of the other compression ratios of that. So if you need more compression, basically I just let it compress more at 4-to-1. I've always felt that that was the sweet spot of the 1176. Sometimes you might have a bass that's very attacky, you know, and you need to kind of calm that down a little bit. So again, there's a couple of ways to do it. You could put a brick wall on the end of it, you know, to kind of hold back the peaks if it's a thumb bass or a funk bass, you know, or again, a saturation program. But again, more than likely, the 1176 is going to cover you on that, but it's not unusual, you know, to put something in afterwards to kind of, you know, to keep the transients from getting too aggressive. Yeah, I mean, on a bass guitar, a good starting point again is 2K, that nice kind of barking mid-range, you know, or either 2 or 3K, you know, depending, again, it's all dependent on the source material, but, you know, just as a starting point, you know, 2K is good to add, and then on the bottom end, you know, 1 1/4 on the Neve 1073, you know, again, that's a nice warmness. And again, if you find that you're getting some rippling effects, you can dial back the bottom end going into the compressor and then put another plug-in on after the compressor that you would just use for the bottom end, because sometimes you'll end up with the bottom end is getting compressed too much. So it's not unusual for me to put a plug-in after the fact that I would just use to add a little bit of warmth after my starting point and compression. Because again, sometimes the bottom end is hitting that compressor too hard. You know, if I'm having an issue with the bottom end hitting the 1176 too hard, then what I would do is maybe just dial back the bottom end before the compression and then add the model of the Pultec EQP afterwards, just to add a little bit of warmth after the compression. Again, that's not unusual. And you know, I can't say that I do that all the time, but that's sometimes how I fix the problem if the bottom end is getting too compressed. Acoustic guitars, again, I'm going to be adding just some nice top end. So again, pick the equalizer that would be your choice. Again, the model of the 1073 is a great choice to start with. And then normally what I would use on the acoustic guitars after equalization, kind of to keep that tickiness or the transient in check, would be a good saturation program, or maybe the precision limiter program, you know, just to kind of, you know, you want to kind of brick wall it. But I found that the saturation programs are a little bit better and a little bit more natural sounding. And again, with the acoustic, you know, you're going to be wanting to add 7K, you know, and again, pulling out a lot of that 125 or 200, or actually on acoustic guitar, it's more like 300, you know, to pull out that low mid-range boxiness, you know, so you want it to be nice and sparkly and jangly. On almost any audio source that you're using, you want to be using the high pass filter to get rid of that, any rumbling or unwanted low frequencies that aren't supposed to be there. So yeah, on acoustic guitar, yes, absolutely. And again, I play around with it. It's not unusual for me to high pass at 300 and then add back in at a tight bell curve 150 or wherever I want that warmth to come back in. It adds it in a totally different energy. So that I would, if I was to do that type of chain of events, I would do that using the British channel, because again, it's a model of the SSL, and I'm very familiar with it. You can do that on the 1073, on the Neve 1073 model. You don't have quite the amount of flexibility, because on the 1073, your high passes are set, whereas on the British channel, they're variable. For rock and roll guitars, it's going to be 1073. Again, it just has the right frequencies. You know, it's an awesome sounding EQ, and the T-RackS version, they did a great job at modeling it. You know, so that would be my starting point. You know, is 1073, 1 or 2 notches at top end, and then again, you're going to dial in your mid-range according to the key of your song or the sound of that particular guitar. But yeah, and as far as compression on that, to be honest with you, I don't really add a lot of compression to dirty guitars, because remember, they're already compressed. Once it goes into a distortion on an amplifier, it's literally compressing it. For acoustic piano, I found the aggressiveness of the, you know, for rock and roll acoustic piano, the aggressiveness of the T-RackS white channel is really great. So it has a little bit more aggressive EQ, so that you can really add in that nice piano mid-range, again at a wide bell curve, roughly in the 3 to 5K range, to get it to be kind of aggressive. Follow that with the T-RackS model of the 1176, and you're going to have a spanking rock and roll channel. And again, don't forget the low pass or the high pass filter, right? The low pass filter. You can do the low pass filter if you want it to sound kind of, you know, radiofied. It works really well. But don't forget the high pass filter to get rid of the rumbling, because remember, the piano players, they're always moving their feet. And if you want it to be kind of slightly more modern and less acoustic sounding, again, go with the quick attack on the compressor on the white channel. Infinity to 1, quick attack, and pummel it. And again, screw around with that hard button. That hard button's a little gem there. It's kind of like a little bonus feature that we don't get on the console, which is really nice. So it does some cool things. Yeah, generally what I find with any electronic keyboard sounds, generally for me, what I'm finding, I'm just going to be adding some top end and again, high pass filtering them to remove. A lot of times on keyboard pads, in my opinion, the cats go a little bit too much with their left hand, and I usually want to try and remove or limit the amount of bottom end that's in it, because it gets in the way of all the other instruments. The compressor in the white channel, you know, and again, use it on fast attack and again, play with that hard button. It really is a great creative tool. It comes up with some interesting sounds.